Hello and welcome back to the workshop. Today we are putting together a guillotine tool. This guillotine tool, as you can see, is it was given, well, it wasn't given to me. I purchased it from Uncle Buck's Forge, and today we're going to put it together. But we're not going to be putting it together in the way that you would expect. We are going to be changing things about and moving things about, and so you see all of this, and it's going to be different. Greetings and welcome back. I hope you liked my new one-time intro. It's kind of making fun at one of the major creators here and the blacksmith family, Roy Adams, in case you didn't get the joke. He likes to film a lot of in-close handwork and in a lot of his videos, so I wanted to throw that in there. I also recorded this portion of it to let you know that he actually has a video of how to put this together the correct way, meaning the way that Uncle Buck intended it for it to be put together, because as you will watch this video, I did not put it together the way it was intended. I'm actually messing with it quite considerably, and I will walk you through that as we go. But you can find a link to that video right here or here, somewhere up there, and Roy will walk you through putting this together the way Uncle Buck intended it. So this is what we're working with right now, all right? And this is actually both pieces. You can see that I tack weld them right there. Now, so what the intention behind this one is that you use it like so. You just go ahead and put the stock in there and you butcher it down, or you fuller it down, or you do whatever it is that you want to do with it. Well, my problem is that I have intentions to put long stock, like swords and knives through there. And, well, one, they don't fit. Two, the other thing is that this is designed to come down and fuller this way. What happens if you want to fuller this way? Well, there's no way to do that the way this thing is designed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify this design. So the first modification involves, and I'll be 100% honest, I bought this, it was not given to me, and I may break it. I may not be able to put it together. I don't know, this is an experiment. But I'm going to cut here, and I'm going to cut here. You can kind of see those lines. And that will make sense in a second. To make sure the connections are even, I tack welded these together so they don't come apart. So the cuts are in the exact same place. I did want to make sure Uncle Buck's logo is on the outside of this. So it'll be there. So I'm going to freehand cut these. And then I'm going to weld it up using all of the pieces that Uncle Buck provided, in addition to another piece. There it is. In addition to a piece of this. This is a 1/4 inch by, I believe, 1.5 inches. And I will show you where that goes. We're not going to use this much of it. It's just I haven't cut off pieces yet. So that is going to be one of the pieces that we use. And that piece will be pretty much the only one that doesn't come with the set. So the set comes with plate number 1, plate number 2, your fullering die, or whatever you want to make this die into, 1018. I'm going to turn it into a fullering die. Comes with 2 bars cut exactly to the right length if you are going to be making this the way Uncle Buck intended. I'm not. But I am going to be using his pieces rather than scrap pieces in my shop, because I want to kind of show you how to do this, you know, putting things together. This is not the first video that I'm going to be doing Uncle Buck hacks. And then of course you have the base plate. I'm going to weld the hardy hole to it, which is the reason why you see that little X there. I'm actually going to drill a through hole so I can do a plug weld, and then I'm going to weld all the way around. I intend to abuse this heavily, and I don't want the hardy hole to fall off. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I am not going to film the cutting process because it's a long process of cutting. You'll get back, I'll come back to the camera once I'm ready for the weld up and everything. So see you then. Alright, so this is what we have. I cut off these two pieces, and since I didn't tack weld there, I just cut them straight off. Now, I haven't cleaned up these yet. That's my next intention, as you can tell from all of the dust. But from here, what this allows us to do is that if this is like this, it will allow us to pass long bar stuff like a knife blade or something this way and do really, really long fullers as we want. I also intend to weld it up so we can pass things this direction, just like it was before, so we can get the full width of this inch and a half, inch and a quarter. This is inch and a half. So inch and a half by 3/4 inch 10/18. So that's what we got, and that's where we're at. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean these surfaces off. My bandsaw cuts pretty cleanly, especially if you keep it nice and oiled, but it's still a little bit proud, and I want to take this lip off and kind of make them all nice and party. All right, so on to the angle grinder. All right, so now we got our pieces all measured up. Here's how this is going to go together. All right, now just like the initial one, your base can be this way, your base can be this way, it makes no difference. But this will be there. All right, so that is how that's going to work. Now, what I'm going to do is this bar is going to be cut in two pieces, and there'll be one piece right behind this top bar, and one piece right behind this lower bar. Okay? And then an additional piece is going to be right at the corner up here, and then right at the corner down here. I am not welding anything in this area because I want it to be able to pass completely through this area. So this bar will be sitting right here. To see if you guys can see that. You can't. Okay. This bar will be sitting right here. One piece of that bar there. One piece of that bar there. All right. We're going to have another piece of this bar this direction, same width as this. So we're going to be cutting it into 4 pieces, and as you can tell, 1, 2, 3. All right, so we need 4 pieces this wide. Well, we have 2 bars. That's great. We can get 6 pieces. We'll have a little bit extra, so you have plenty of stuff to do this. All right, so we're gonna be welding that one there, another piece there, another piece there, another piece there. Okay, what happens to the bar if it goes that direction? Well, that's the reason why I said you need extra information. So that big, thick 1/4 inch plate that you saw, like this is the same width and size. This is not, but this is going to go right here across the front. So it's going to go, as these are here, you'll have that 1/4 inch plate go all the way across the front. So you have a gap here, and you'll have a gap in back. Okay? So that's how this is going to go. So what I need to do is I need to cut these up. Now these need to be pretty much exactly enough of this. And we've established that this is 1.5 inches. All right, 1.5 inches wide. Now again, all of these measurements are based on this bar. If you wanted to, there's enough material here that you can replace this center piece. If you wanted a 2-inch wide one, you can do that using the same kit, but instead of using an extra 1.25 inch bar, you'll also have to get more of these. I chose this one simply because it's what works with the kit. This is what he has, and I didn't feel like buying or making bar that fits. So yeah. Plus I want to do this completely with the kit, and I'm fairly certain that the camera jumps every single time I do that. All right, so let's go ahead and cut these up 1.5 inches. So that's 1.5 inches. And I'm gonna stop you guys while I'm doing that. Here we are again. All of our pieces are now cut, including our 2 extra pieces. Now, none of these are cleaned or set up in any way, shape, or form. Just to give you an idea on how these are set up. So these 2 pieces are going to go right there and there. Right there and right there. I'm going to do this sideways. So 1 there, 1 there. And this piece is going to go right there. And this is obviously our design. And then that piece is going to go right there and right there. These are our extra pieces. They're going to go 1 right there. All right. Let's take this off with this. So 1 right there and 1 right there. All right. So that's how it's going to look. Now these are so that they can get welded like so. Okay, they're going to be on the outside of this, so it's going to be slightly longer than it was before. Okay, and you can see here how they're not exactly the same size, specifically on the bottom. Is that the bottom or is that the top? That's the top. Specifically on the top. And I'm going to have it overhang down a little bit because I want this top piece flush. The bottom piece should be flush. This little overhang right here is not really going to cause a whole lot of issue. But you don't want the overhang up here because when you bang on this end, you don't want to accidentally hit that. And the forces to be even. So this is essentially how it's going to be all welded up. And this allows for it pass through this way, and it allows for it pass through this way because this side is completely empty. So as you can tell, if this is where our dies and this is our stock, we can pass our stock completely through this way, or we can pass our stock completely through that direction. Now, why don't I use bigger pieces? Well, up here it really doesn't make any difference. I mean, this is stout enough that it's not going to make a difference. Down here, I deliberately, I'm going to move this up a little bit so you can see it. So down here at the bottom of it, I deliberately want this to be open because there's going to be scale that falls through all of this. I mean, there's going to be a lot of scale. And there's going to be a solid plate here, and with a solid plate here, you can potentially trap a whole bunch of scale in there. And we don't want that because as soon as you trap a whole bunch of scale in there, you're eventually going to have to dump it out every so often, and that's just frankly annoying. So what this does is this allows the scale to come in and basically fall back out. So that's the idea. Simple modification. If you wanted to, you can actually take these 2 pieces and use them in place of like these back pieces. Instead of cutting these 2 back pieces, you can actually use these as your back pieces if you wanted to. You potentially might even be able to use them for your, yeah, you probably could actually. You could potentially use them for your front pieces and still have these bars intact. I, however, know how much I'm going to be beating on this and the amount of force that's going to be transferred through this, and I like the fact that these are a little bit more beefy to keep this more in line with it rather than having these ones. To keep this more in line because your force is going to be coming straight down and we want nice grip all the way around. Plus they're included, so I don't see why not. But yeah, you can use this waist stock if you wanted to. You could shore up, you can attach it all the way down here if you want to, so you can have 2 attachment points. But again, if you attach the point down here, you're still going to get a scale buildup if you create a lip there, which I don't want a lip on the bottom. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So to make nice penetrating welds, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chamfer all the edges on here. So everything that's gonna get welded is gonna get a nice little chamfer. Get one of these nice little pencils. Don't step on them though, they damage them. So we're gonna chamfer that edge. Well, maybe. See, welding on the inside is tricky because is the amount of tolerances. So we're not gonna chamfer that edge. We're gonna chamfer this edge and this edge and this edge, because this is going to get welded to the plate. So those are all going to get chamfered. All right, and coincidentally here, and these things, they're going to get chamfered all the way around. We're going to weld them all the way around. So the inside edge, the one that's going to be up to this one, I'm going to weld those ones first on the inside. So this inside edge, I'm going to be welding that first, and then I'm going to be filing that down. Again, it's an effort to make a good strong weld. Obviously these, we're only going to chamfer one edge, the outside edge. It doesn't really matter which one that is at this moment in time, as long as it's the same on both sides. And these here are basically our waste stock at the moment in time. So yeah, I'm gonna go chamfer all of those stuff up, and then I'll meet you back here. So here's what we have. All of these have been chamfered on all of their edges. All right, I have checked to make sure they are square-ish. So now it's a matter of what to weld up first. Excuse me. Now it's a matter of what to weld up first. When you're looking at these, the most important piece on here that has to be correct is going to be these pieces right behind this bar. Now the cool thing is that because we're welding this up differently, we do not have to use shims on this side, okay? We can give ourselves a little bit of room because we can use the shims when we weld up the opposite side, and we will. So what we want to do is we want to get this so that it's roughly there, and then I am going to use my magnet to get this to be completely parallel. And right now I am just making sure that I can just barely feel that lip. So I don't know if you can hear it, but that's what I want. All right, and inside here, all right, what we want is we want it to be basically flush. Now we're going to actually weld that and then grind it flush. So we want to check to make sure this side is nice and this side is nice. So we're going to weld that one. All right. Again, I want to make sure that it's touching that. And we're going to weld this one. All right. So again, we're welding the bottom one first. All right. And then we'll be welding the top one second. But we're going to put that in place just because. All right. And then we want to check straight up and down doesn't really make a whole lot of difference here. What really matters is whether or not these are straight. Alrighty then. Now I'm going to set this up to weld, which I'm going to take you guys along for just to see. So, as you can see here, I am grinding these down. I ground them down just a little bit, and then I'm going to file them. Obviously, that is where this goes. So we're going to want to make sure that those are nice and flat and parallel. So this goes in the vise. And I will grab my file. This is where things get a little bit tricky. Now, not only do we have to do this, we also have to do this. Okay, this is what we got. You notice, slides nice. Gone in and I've cleaned up this a little bit. I've cleaned up here a little bit, because once I add these, especially on this one, the top one, the lip is gonna actually hang down a little bit. So cleaning this up would be kind of hard, so I wanted to make it nice and flush. You're not really gonna see it as this is the top, but I also wanted to clean up those a little bit. I may come back in with a file, and I'm going to do the whole thing. But now, what I'm gonna do is I am going to set this down like this, add some of my shim stock. And then set that on there. Add some more shim stock. And then we're going to weld this up. All right. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so here it is. All its happy little glory. And again, stock can be passed this direction. All right, so it can go this way through it. All right, and coincidentally, stock can also be passed this direction all the way through it. And that's the whole purpose behind this, is it adds more versatility so that you can pass it this way or this way, should you desire. And again, I used pretty much everything that came in Uncle Buck's kit. So this is Uncle Buck kit bashing. So again, these are what we have, leftover piece. In theory, you can probably use these ones that you cut out of here, right? They used to go there. You could, in theory, probably use those ones to go across the front. I chose not to, pretty much because this width, I wanted it to be one solid piece across the front. And this one solid piece across the front, you can tell there's a slight lip there. I may get rid of that, I may not, I don't care. We'll see. But yeah, new guillotine tool. And again, if you want to see the actual intended way rather than the kit bashing that I did, please go to the link. It's actually not here, I can't put two of them in there, but the link that was at the beginning of the video to Roy's video. And yeah, visit Uncle Buck Forge, buy yourself a kit. They're pretty damn awesome. And I will have future kit bashings, not necessarily all Uncle Buck's, although he makes a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be working with. And I have one right down there that I'm going to be doing something funky with. I'm not entirely sure if it counts as kit bashing because there's no real intended way of using it. But it may not be the normal way to use it, so that's my intent. So yeah, like, share, subscribe if you want to support the channel. Please visit me on Patreon, or you can just donate to the PayPal link below. Hope you have a good day. Catch you on the flip side. All right, that was kind of a play. Nah. These are leftover pieces of metal. Whoops, lost one. These are your leftover pieces of metal. God damn it. Okay, outtakes. Funny. Can't keep it there.